Here with Elliot at Old City Cheesesteaks and Brew following that 2-2 draw against Tottenham. How do you feel about the match?
Nothing like a lot of Gooners. I'm disappointed. You know, we could have done more to win the game, and maybe we should have. I think Spurs have obviously, made a new page in their sort of book here, and they're playing a little bit more attacking football. I think that we had a lot of opportunities. If I'm Bukayo Saka, I'm frustrated with the team. The man has made, 2 great goals and deserves to be on the winning side of that. I think it was a team a little bit hampered by injury as well today. I think that the Leandro Trossard news before the game came out, that was unfortunate. I think it forced us to adjust our playing style. Instead of just having Jesus up front and Trossard on the left, then now we have Jesus on the left and we have Eddie up front. But Eddie has done well to press and to put himself about. But at the end of the day, it's just a matter of technical quality, and it's Eddie's done fine. And I don't want to put him out to dry or anything like that. But it's just the profile of the players that we have. I would have much rather had Jesus up front today pressing and Trossard on the left to be just devastating and clinical when he gets those chances. And I think we missed that.
And I think the subs kind of hurt us a little bit. I know a lot of us wanted to see whenever Reece came on, Jesus slide to the middle, Eddie come off, because I feel like that would have just fit our play style moving forward a lot more as well. How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I think the most interesting stuff for me today is Declan getting the hook at halftime.
Do you think that was an injury?
Not from what I saw. I don't think it was an injury. I mean, in fact, when I saw it, I kind of was like, that sort of makes sense to me. I thought Declan had a very average half in terms of being like progressive on the ball. He's always going to give you that physicality and that presence, and he wins the ball back like that. For me, that's bare minimum. I thought, the standard he set with the first 3 or 4 games of the season, he was unbelievable. And you don't always have to meet that extremely high standard, but I thought he was a little bit sloppy. I felt maybe he felt the weight of the moment today. I thought that his passing wasn't as clean as it had been. And I think that his substitution was a fact of Mikel's frustration with him. And I hope he's not injured. Maybe when this comes out, we'll have heard something. But I actually don't believe he is. I think it was a tactical substitution. Obviously, Jorginho screws up. I'll use light language here. Immediately upon coming in, and that's tough. You have to take that. I think it's especially tough for Mikel, who wants to make a point with his substitution. He wants to say to Declan, you haven't been good enough and you need to progress the ball more, so I'm bringing Jorginho in, and then Jorginho immediately screws up. So it sort of, not that it undermines the manager, but it undermines the point he's trying to make with that substitution. So, I think that is sort of, it's not ideal, but it also underlies, I think today was a day that we missed Thomas Partey. If we had him to come off the bench, or even if we had him starting, I think that would have been, had a massive influence on the pace of the game. Exactly.
I feel like we struggled in the midfield a lot more today compared to other matches, to be fair. Tottenham played well. And definitely having Partey in the midfield would have solidified that a little bit more and helped us keep the ball, because we were kind of spraying it around and losing it. First touches weren't the best as well today.
Yeah, I think the Arsenal team of last season, I think a lot of the traits that we loved so much about it was there's this cohesive sort of passing in between the team. Everyone knew where they were going to be. I think what we've seen this season, not only with Arsenal but with a lot of teams, is there's actually just been so many injuries. The demand on these players to play so many games has resulted in a lot of people getting injured. And I think that, Arsenal has not been spared by this crisis at all. We've had our share of injuries. And I think that today was a team that was maybe not as comfortable in just the starting 11 as we've had, in previous, iterations of our team. We had Jesus on the left. That hasn't happened very often. We have Nketiah up front. We have Vieira coming in, who I rate highly, and I'm happy that he's, put this good run of form together. But he's not necessarily a mainstay in that midfield. So, we had difficulties today. We had difficulties with the starting lineup.
How have you felt with Raya being in goal?
Yeah, I know a lot of people love Aaron Ramsdale, and I totally understand that. He's such a likable personality, huge personality. But for me, what is happening with Ramsdale and Raya is actually very similar to what happened with Leno and Ramsdale. Yeah. Is that Leno was not a bad keeper, but Ramsdale was more in line with the sort of style we wanted to play. And it's not that Leno screwed up or anything. It's that Ramsdale was the next iteration of what our keeper had to be. And that's how I feel about Raya. I feel like Ramsdale gets a lot more sympathy because he's English, because also he is very close to being maybe that number one for England, and he's close to that starting spot. And so if he loses his starting spot at Arsenal, then maybe it undermines his ability to be the number one for England. I get all that. But at the end of the day, that's not Arteta's problem. Arteta's got to pick the best keeper for him and how we play. And I back Raya all day long. I think the save that he made today against, I don't even remember who it was Madison
it was Brendan Johnson.
Johnson, yeah, that's right. Was unbelievable. The stretching save. I think that maybe with the result today that will get overlooked. But I thought it was an unbelievable save. And I'm happy to have Raya as my number one.
All right. Thank you, Elliot, for joining Gooners Gone Wild Podcast. And as always, come on, you Gunners.
Come on, you Gunners!